Okay. I think I'm in the front of, oh, this is gonna be, I'll have to go over here. Whew. Okay, I'm Diane Slomway, in case anyone doesn't know me. I'm the president, for now, of the Dartmouth Photo Society, and I wanna welcome you all to the new year, another year for the Dartmouth Photo Society. We're pretty excited. We got really great speakers coming up. You guys are gonna really enjoy them. And our first one is tonight, Peter Steeper. And then we have Brian Mary coming all the way from Banff, Alberta for next month. And then we have Alan Zilkowski coming in October. November. So it should be good. So I just want to remind you guys about Karen's Recycling. I don't know if you've been there lately to pick up any money, have you? Oh, you have?
No.
No, okay. So drop off your recyclables there. We can put the money in a pot that goes into our, you know, just for using for everyday things. And I wanted to make sure that everybody has their waiver on file. Like we have a waiver that it's like a registration form for new members, and it's also a field trip waiver, like all in one, like there's 2 sheets. They're on the internet, and so on our website. So if you haven't filled out one, can you please go on the website and fill out one and get it into us? Like you can email it to us or whatever, just so we can put it on file. Because whenever we go on field trips, we need to have that waiver just so nothing happens.
Just in case anything happens.
Just in case anything happens. And we also need to pick the monthly themes. And so if there's something in particular that you want to have for a monthly theme, send an email to the Dartmouth Photo Society so that we can pick the monthly themes. So we'd like to see what everybody wants to see in the monthly themes for a change, because we usually just pick them, but I think we'll ask and see if everybody has something that they'd like to see in the monthly themes, and then we can pick them. Okay, now we're just gonna briefly, Jose is gonna talk to us. Are you gonna go first or Jose?
I'll go first.
Okay, Bob's gonna talk to us about the November exhibit, then Jose is gonna talk to us about culling photographs to help you pick out your photographs for the exhibit, and then Peter will be up. Okay, so thank you very much for coming. Here you go.
Okay, up above. So where's the camera? Right here?
Yeah, you can stand right there, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try our photo exhibit again this year. Going to try it maybe a little bit different. I'd like to get more members participating and maybe 5 pictures per member. Like we've got a lot of people putting in a lot of photos, and it'd be nice to see the rest of the membership participate. So what's the purpose of our show? Well, first of all, it's to get the public aware of what photographers can do with a camera. It's also to tell them about the Dartmouth Photo Society, and secondly, it's about you, the photographer. There's something about makes you feel good about seeing your photo with a bunch of other photographers, and that you can take pride in your work. You folks take amazing pictures, and it's nice to show that not just to everybody, but show for yourself. So I think it's really important that we continue with that. It's going to be the first weekend in November at the library at Cold Harbor. Same format as before, set up on Friday, Saturday day, and Sunday afternoon is the show. It's called the Project Room, and we've had good signage. We like to have it with the Cold Harbor Library has a craft show at the same time, so there's lots of people flowing through there. So I think it's worth doing, but it's all depending on you folks' membership. Are you interested in doing this another year? So kind of need to know, we have the place booked, we just need to know for sure that you're interested. So if we have 20 members participating in 5 photos each, that would be 100 photos. That's pretty good. So that would be, we've had 120, 130, but some people put in 12 or 14, and others people put in like 1 or none. So it'd be nice to get your work out there. So talk to me afterwards, or we can talk now for a minute whether or not we should continue with the show. What do you guys think?
Show of hands, who wants to?
Shall we keep doing it?
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 people. For those that aren't, you maybe come see me later and tell me why you wouldn't be interested, and maybe there's something that we can change to make it more enticing for you. All right, so.
I guess with me, I'm a newer member, I don't really know enough about it.
Okay, so what we did, you have an 8x10 or an 8x12 photo that you want to put in the exhibit. We provide mats that you put the photo in, and we put them on display at the library. And the only rule we really had was that something that you haven't displayed before. So if you had a really great picture and you put it in every year, the public would see the same photo, right? It's nice to mix it up a bit. Just photos taken by you.
I make
A photo
nameplates
that
for
you're
them.
proud of. It can be any genre, any topic, anything at all, right? Something that you really like. Your favorite photo. Could be from 10 years ago, could have been from last week. So whatever kind of makes you feel that's a great photo. And it's nice to see your photo with other photographers, and you go to the show and you look at what they've done, and you maybe get some inspiration from them as well, or maybe you provide inspiration to us. So everybody's a good photographer. It's just nice to see your work out there.
And
So,
and those guys put nameplates on them, so then the picture's titled, it has your name on it and stuff, so,
yeah.
you know,
So you
so-
get recognition.
So
So
what
you
we
get
do is
recognition.
we have a ballot that we get the people coming in and vote and pick your favorite, 2 pictures.
3 pictures.
2 pictures, okay. And the reason we ask them to do that is to make sure that it gets them wandering through the show, looking at the photographs. There's no award for that. It's just, it gets the public looking at the photos instead of just walking through and leaving. So when you say, will you help us out, pick your favorite 3, and they usually have to wander around for a while trying to figure out their favorite 3, and they have a hard time doing it, so,
Yeah.
which is great. Any other questions? You can, the 8x10 and 8x12 size is what we've got mats for. If you have a framed picture that you want to put in, or if you want on a larger mat that you've got, you can display that too. But nothing smaller than an 8x10. Okay? All right, off to Jose.
Great, thanks, Bob.
Okay.
So the other element I want to talk about is the change being done this year is a number of photos. In the past we'd say 10 pictures, 12 pictures, but you heard Bob said 5, maximum of 5. And I want you to take this as a learning opportunity for yourself, because part of the display is to tell people we're here, but it also is part of your creative process. You're taking the pictures, but the actual act of printing and showing it up is also an important aspect to the creativity. And having a limit of 5 is for each one of us to have a hard look and trying to pick the best 5, up to 5 pictures that you have. And that also is important to learn, say which one are the best. And it's not always easy for some people how to call and trying to find the best 5, but the process of doing it is a great learning opportunity. So, and Donna, you're saying you're brand new, new in photography, or just new? Kathy, I'm sorry, Kathy, I'm horrible with names.
More new to the group.
New to the group, okay. I would say people that are new to photography, nobody's here is new to photography. I usually say go ahead and show anyhow, because it's a learning opportunity. Everything is, there's nothing bad. And seeing your pictures against others, sometimes say, oh, I can learn this, or I've done pretty good myself, sort of thing. So, yes, so that's about it. I know a couple of years ago I did something on calling. I'm not going to go tonight because we want Peter to have more time, but I want you to think of it as your learning opportunity, how to pick the up to 5 best. And go ahead and display, because that's part of the creative process. Any comments on that?
Oh, sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
I've got one comment to make here, I think it was a guy named Mike Brown. Anybody know? He's a video photography mentor. I think Fred, you know him. He was the first person I saw online that inspired me to get more involved in photography. One of his videos that talked about what kind of photographer are you? What's, all these genres. Are you a landscape? Are you people? Are you whatever, pets or sports? What's your thing? And he said, well, the best thing to do was to print off 10 of the photos that you like the best. Select those 10. And when you look at them, maybe something's going to jump out. If they're all landscape, well, maybe you really like doing landscape. If they were all musicians, well, maybe you like doing, you know, concert photography. Or if they're all sports, then maybe you're a sports photographer. Or they're all people, like weddings or whatever. Whatever kind of jumps out at you as something that you're really interested in. It was a good way of doing it. So again, in this show, by printing off some photos, you realize what your favorite genre is at this moment in time. It may change next week, but right at this moment you're into whatever, right? So it helps focus on getting you inspired to do photography, really. So,
Sounds good.
right, you want me to introduce Peter?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So Peter, welcome. So, known Peter for quite a few years through the Sackville Photography Club. Peter's quite a woodworker. He's quite a photographer. He's a travel guy. I think you've also done some really cool stuff with as a Comic-Con with some of those costumes and pretty inspiring work. So he's a little bit all over the place with his photography. And tonight you're going to talk to us about travel photography.
Yeah, I figured travel photography tonight. I thought it might give interest to folks.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we're interested in anything you have to say. So,
All right.
Peter, welcome. So our crowd's a little small tonight, Peter. Sorry about that. We normally expected just a few more, but we're just kind of kicking up. So,
Well, I think it's nice to get out in front of a group of people too. It's been a little while.
Just step
Um,
back a little further. Just so you're in the camera. Just so you're in the camera, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Back. There you go. Now we can see you.
So I brought. I guess maybe we can get the slideshow.
From the beginning?
Yep.
And there's a clicker for you.
Oh, thank you.
I think it works. Maybe not.
To the right, I think.
here we go.
Is it?
So what have got batteries are dead.
Go for it.
Hey,
Sure.
just hit the
Okay.
space bar.
Okay. Just let me know when you want me to hit it.
Yeah, just go ahead and hit it there. And hit it again. I'm going to talk about the good tonight. What goes good when you're traveling? Next one. What goes bad? And the next one, I hope you're never in this category, okay? I'll talk more about that here in a minute. All right, you hit the button there. I'm going to talk a little bit about gear first because we all spend a lot of money on gear, or too much money on gear. So I'll just get you to hit the button there. A couple questions I have for you when you're traveling is, how much do you want to carry?
Not
How-
very much.
Not much.
Not very much.
Not a lot.
I highly recommend that because when I was flying last year, of course, every airline did a really good job of losing your stuff. And it was much better if everything was carry-on, and certainly last year, and probably even now, it's much better if you do everything carry-on. So the less you can carry, the better. And my other question is what are you going to do with your pictures when you're done? How many put stuff on social media? How many people print stuff nowadays?
Every now and then.
Not every
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's actually a fair number of you here in here printing, and if you're printing, you might want a little higher quality in those cases. So it might be worthwhile carrying a little bit of extra stuff, you know, if you want better quality in printing. But again, just about any camera nowadays gives you excellent resolution for making a good size print, like a 12 by 18 or even larger. So, you know, so we have pretty good capabilities nowadays. All right, next one. Yeah, so this picture of my little setup here. I switched to this when I was in Europe in 2022. One of the reasons I was there was to walk the the Camino Frances. And when I was walking the Camino Frances in 2022, I walked 120 kilometers with my granddaughter.
Wow.
And I also did it in 2019. And in 2019, I walked the full Camino Frances. Well, not quite the full Camino Frances, but I walked 700 kilometers of it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was doing a lot of walking, and when you're walking, it's very obvious how much stuff you're carrying. So in that case, I went with the smaller camera, and I went with this little tripod. It's a table tripod, but I found it was about right for me. Whoops. Let's turn that off. And then basically with carrying that, it only weighs a little over a pound.
Oh wow.
So very, very light. And so it was a good choice. And then I had a little Bluetooth remote to go with it. But I took a couple other things with me too. And this is what I find is in museums in Europe, you're not allowed to use a tripod. But you know, they often have those benches in the middle, you know, where you can sit on the bench, you know, to look at the artwork and stuff like that. So I made this little thing here because I'm a woodworker. And I can just set my camera on there and set the lens of my camera on there, and it's got a high side and a low side, and I can generally get it adjusted so as I can get it aimed at a piece of artwork. And then I just use, you know, the transform commands in Lightroom to get everything squared up once I get home, make it look nice. And I haven't gotten kicked out of a museum with that. I did get kicked out of a museum with this, okay?
Usually you're not allowed to take pictures of the artwork in museums.
Well, they'll let you take pictures, but they definitely won't let you use a tripod. But
Oh.
again, I say check the website and see what it is on the website.
Right.
I think it's no flash.
Definitely no flash. Definitely no flash. And then the other thing too, in churches, what I find in churches is every church and cathedral let me use this tripod except one. Only one wouldn't let me use a tripod. So I've had really good luck with churches and cathedrals. And another little thing I made for churches is, you know, they often have beautiful ceilings and beautiful vaulting and stuff like that. So I made a little other thing, and I call this the straight up. And all I do is just sit that on the floor and just sit my camera on it, and then and have it aimed straight up. And normally what I do is, you know, I can use the app on my phone, but often I just set it on the floor and use my remote, take a picture and just turn it just slightly, you know, take 2 or 3 pictures, just changing the angle a little bit. And then I usually get things lined up at one point. So that's a couple things I do there. Okay, next one. What's on your bucket list? Where do you guys want to go?
Sable Island.
Sable Island? Yes, I'd like to go with you. Galapagos? Yeah, I'd love to go there too, just to see all the animals and stuff like that. That certainly haven't been there yet. Any other?
Rosemore.
Grossmorn?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
Do some practice walking up hills.
Yeah.
Watch out for the bears.
Yeah.
I've done that. I did the hike up over Grossmorn.
Oh, wow.
That's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
But next one here. But I say make up that bucket list, do your research. The other thing too is figuring out the time of day to be there. And I'm going to talk about different situations I encountered on traveling and the things that went right and the things that went wrong. And of course, photo pills, if there's something special, use something like photo pills to figure out the best times to be there. Weather. The problem with weather is when you go someplace, how long are you going to be in that place? How many days are you going to be there? How many hours are you going to be there? And the weather doesn't always match up with your schedule, so have a plan B. Local knowledge. The other thing I've learned a lot from talking to local people because they know what's going on and they know the places and stuff like that. And then getting there, I don't travel with tours. I don't go on cruise ships and things like that. We tend to make our own way and make our own plans and stuff. And what I like about that is you get a lot of flexibility. You can choose when you're going to be there and what time you're going to be there and how long you're going to be there. Because you look at the tourists out at Pecos Cove, the bus arrives at 10 a.m. They're there for how long, and then they leave. Let's go to the next one here. Just want to talk about Pecos Cove for a minute. I'll just get you to hit the next one here. When's the best time to go to Pecos Cove?
The tide time.
Pardon me?
For the tide time.
What's other suggestions for times to go to Pecos Cove?
Sunset,
Sunset. Sunset. Anybody go for sunrise?
sometimes.
Anybody going for the waves on Saturday?
Oh, why, are they special on Saturday?
Well, the waves are going to be 5 to 7
this
meters. They're going to be
Saturday. Oh,
5 to 7 meters on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
So it depends what your thinking is on that.
Well, that'd
You
be
know,
pretty cool.
what would you recommend to a photographer visiting Pecos Cove?
No.
Yeah,
Stay out.
relax.
Stay off the Black Rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you an equivalent here in a few minutes. What else would you suggest to a photographer?
Oh, probably go down to the front of Peggy's
Dress
Cove.
warm.
Pardon me?
Dress warm.
Dress warm yet? But what would you suggest as alternatives to a photographer?
Don't go right up to Peggy's Cove, stay back,
Okay.
and maybe go from the fishing
Oh, go
areas,
over where the Swiss Air Memorial is and walk down
the beach.
to the rocks there.
Yeah, because that'd be a great suggestion, you know? What about Polly's Cove?
Never been.
I don't even know where Polly's Cove is.
Oh, some of you guys know where it is? Take them there?
Yeah, really, I never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I've never been.
Oh, I never heard of it.
How many cars are at Pecos Cove?
Thousands.
There will be 3 or 4 cars at Polly's Cove.
Oh, really?
And that's just the next stop over. It's just half kilometer down the road.
Oh,